All right. Oh, you know what? I don't have any noise gate or anything. It doesn't matter. We'll figure that next stream. Ooh, let me get the old. We're gonna do the old Vikings toque, or are we gonna do the old Vikings? I'm just gonna do the old Vikings hat. Oh yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Purple and Gold Bars after game reaction, post game reaction, whatever you want to call it. Still learning how to speak on this thing, but what did I tell you guys? Man, these Texans fans had no clue. Are you kidding me? I said, how are they going to run the ball when they have Cam Akers, their third string running back, coming off his second Achilles? They got, let me see, how'd they do for rushing? Oh, they got 38 yards. Yeah. That's what I thought. Oh, CJ Stroud is so good on the, yo, Barber. CJ Stroud is so good against the blitz. Didn't freaking matter because you know why? B-Flow's difference. B-Flow's defense is the difference. It's unique. No one does it like him. So how do those stats even apply? They didn't, just like I said they would. An amazing win, a full team win, couple mistakes, didn't hold us back like they did last year. But what else can you say about these Minnesota Vikings? Skull Barber, we got this win. We showed them who was boss. I honestly can't believe they thought they were going to come into our house and come out like world beaters. Really? Seriously? Home field advantage kicked their asses. We didn't even have to do anything in the first half. They dug a hole so deep with penalties, unforced errors, false, what's it called? A whole bunch of freaking false starts, some illegal formations. Why? Because it's so damn loud in there, and they had no clue what was coming. Good gravy. They really thought they were going to come in here with their third string running back and dominate us. They really believed their hype. Are you kidding me? They barely beat the Bears last week. CJ Stroud could barely handle an above average, not even an elite defense because the Bears aren't there yet, but an above average defense. He could barely move the ball. And they honestly thought they were going to come into US Bank Stadium and roll right through us. I'm looking at the score 34-7. Let me see. Let's go down over to let's look at how good CJ Stroud did. He did 215 yards, 20 for 31, one touchdown, two interceptions. The so-called best against the blitz couldn't even figure it out and at all. They pulled him. You know what? He didn't even figure it out. I said that he would start figuring it out in the second half, and by the time he figured it out, it'd be way too late and be running up the clock. We'd have multiple possession lead. He didn't even get a chance to figure it out. They pulled him and put the backups in because they knew there was nothing left for them to do but to roll over and die. How embarrassing is that? Imagine, oh my God. I got so much into the comments, and there were so many Texans fans calling me delusional and saying this and that when I basically said these exact same things. There's no way your freaking quarterback is going to be able to handle our scheme. He's going to force him to make his reads post-snap, which he's not accustomed to doing. And on top of that, the reason he does that, the reason B-Flow does that is because he wants to overload the quarterback's mental stack so he can't think straight and errors happen. He doesn't pay attention in the pocket collapse. So of course, exactly what happened. I figured at least they were going to try to make a game out of it in the second half, and I figured the first half went exactly how I envisioned it. The second half, I thought a little bit more fight out of them, but you know what? It, there's a thing that happens when you kind of emerge and you break out, right? We see this a lot in a lot of different positions. Running back, a lot of running backs we see this in, but essentially we see a guy come out of nowhere one season and light it up. You know, it could be a team, it could be an offense, it could be whatever, right? They just hit the zone. You know, nobody's got any tape on them. They got a whole bunch of rookies, or they just got a whole bunch of new players, and they're playing way above their ceiling, and they catch so many people off guard. But what happens in that second year? We call it sophomore slump for a reason. Because once the tape's out, once everybody in the NFL can spend a whole offseason game planning for you, finding out what your tendencies are, what you can and can't do, and understanding what is going to be the winning path against you, you ain't catching no one off guard. You barely caught. Who'd you guys beat in week one? Oh no, you guys probably was it the Panthers? Either way, you barely made it through week one. It's week two. A team didn't believe your hype and took it to you, and they almost beat you with a quarterback throwing less than 100 yards. And you thought that you were going to beat us. Thank God that we have KOC and Brian Flores. They have done an incredible job with this team. We're trailblazing and basically inventing a defensive scheme, or Brian Flores is, but on our for us. But he's literally creating something. KOC is learning on the fly, and his ceiling is so high. 2 years ago, he would get this grin in his face, and you would know he's going to throw a trick play or get some gadget, some really weird thing, and and it would fail, and we would stall out a drive, and we'd lose points. What happened this week? He called a couple nice gimmick plays, and his play calling is coming up. We're going to hit our stride, like I envision, late next year into the following year. Like when we hit our peak, we are severely overachieving right now. My goal for this season was that this team spends all the time working with a quarterback that's as similar to JJ McCarthy's play style as we can get. That way they can focus on learning how to play within that scheme, both on offense and defense. That way next year when JJ takes over, it's not going to be that hard to transition into him because the quarterbacks are going to be playing roughly the same anyways. There'll be a little bit of growing pains from JJ, of course. He's a rookie coming into it. He has to get up to speed. He's got to play at the NFL speed. But when the rest of the team has put all these growing pains that we've had to endure for the last 2 seasons behind us, when we do that, they're going to literally carry this young quarterback into his prime. People don't remember that Tom Brady, when he took over that role, he inherited an incredibly good all-around team. The defense was probably the best thing on that roster. And for those first 3 years, that team, that roster carried Tom Brady while he developed into the player that he was. The confidence that he learned, the lessons that he learned, everything just lined up perfectly like it's lining up for us. And I would not be surprised if we emerge as the next dynasty. We have all the ingredients. We have a superstar wide receiver. We have a young franchise quarterback that we can play on a rookie quarterback and build a solid team around him. We have an incredibly talented defensive coordinator that is that's just lighting the league up on fire. I guarantee you within 3 years, half or at least a third of the NFL is going to be trying their version of Brian Flores' defense. Failing, but will be in that next iteration of the Brian Flores defense. It's evolving. Last year, he did so good last year without the right pieces. He blitzed 77% of the time, and he did the best he could, and we got top 15, maybe borderline top 12 defense when everybody thought we'd be a bottom 5 defense. So for me, I was scared going into last year, but after last year, I was like, you know what? I just let him cook, man. That guy sees something that we don't, and he's revolutionizing how defense is played. I heard a little quote that was said about him. Um, oh man, I forget which defensive player it was. It was on one of these morning shows, maybe one of the preview shows, where they said that finally we have a like a defensive scheme that turns it around on the offense, because most of the time the offense really dictates everything, right? So if they're really banging on all cylinders, the defense has to adjust to them, and you know what I mean, they're checking out of things, they're doing all these things, and they're really in control. And finally, Brian Flores has brought a defense into the NFL where they're putting the pressure on the offense, and now the quarterback has to do all the thinking and reacting like the defense used to have to do. It's incredible. So I can't wait till the bye week, because I want to make a bunch of videos. Uh, One is definitely going to be on the defense. Ivan Pace, incredible dude, coming out of nowhere, undrafted, to be a leader on this defense a year later. Oh, there's just so many good storylines. There's so many good players on this team to highlight that nobody's talking about. And this team deserves that kind of exposure, and that's why I felt this year was the year I needed to start my channel. I almost started it in that 13-3 season with Kirk. And even after that loss, I was like, you know what? Like, I could just see the good things were coming. I did not see it this happening like this. I envisioned Kirk being a part of that process. But you know what? I believe, I trust in Cam, in KOC, and Brian Flores. It's truly the first time since Adrian Peterson's 2,000-yard season that I've felt like we have the makings of making the Super Bowl and winning it. So, what a time to be a Vikings fan. We come off an incredible win. You know, let's get back. I can just literally talk about this team for hours on so many different levels. It's totally taking away from the fact that I'm supposed to be shit talking these dog water freaking Texans, and there's these Texan fans. Guess what, guys? Sophomore slump is coming, and it's hit you guys hard. When you guys struggle against the Bears, really. The Colts beat the Bears. The Colts are one of the worst teams, the most dysfunctional teams right now. They have literally Scam Newton 2.0 at quarterback with like half a quarter of the talent and all the athleticism, but they beat you. Like, how are you going to go forward after this humiliating loss? Like, you guys thought you guys were going to come in here and destroy us with your chest out. Danielle Hunter's going to show up. You really thought that Diggs and Danielle Hunter were going to come in here and destroy our game plan? Are you kidding me? Get out of here. You know how much film, how much scouting reports we have on both those players? We know literally everything about them. Their freaking, all their tendencies, all their weaknesses. They don't know. They weren't there when we had to witness games where Danielle was our only pass rusher and the only guy that could get home. And when other teams schemed him out, we had nothing. So what do you think happened to that tape? Do you think that we just kind of like just sat on it, just burned it, and be like, oh man, they really killed Danielle out there. Let's just throw this away because we'll never have a use for it. No. They kept all that film because they wanted to figure out how to help him improve and overcome these schemes. But at the same time, we also got the blueprint at the same time. So you really thought that you're going to come in here and wreck with... Did he even get a sack? He might have got like a half sack. But he did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Diggs did the best out of both of them in what he was 100% completion rating, and he did catch 94 yards. So, but like he was really their only thing. Nico Collins. Oh, what happened to Nico? Oh, he got 86 yards. 86 yards. Okay. Near the end garbage time yards because he had nothing going into the fourth. He was probably like 13 yards, something like that. Like these guys literally thought they were gonna come in here with this sorry ass roster into U.S. Bank Stadium, where the Niners, man, the Niners people joke and they say that they have the Avengers on both offense and defense, and they couldn't do it. Oh my god. Oh, delusional fans. I'm gonna love the rest of the season because we are gonna embarrass a lot of teams. We're gonna have our ups and downs. I think with these first two wins, I had the Vikings ceiling at 9-8 because I was a little bit reserved or modest when it came to Sam Darnold because I really was only playing Moneyball with him. I didn't know. I just knew that he was capable and that he could essentially be slotted in and do the job that we need and provide average stats. And he's doing way better than I gave him credit. So I'm ecstatic with Kyle Shanahan for helping fix him and then KOC for taking it the rest of the way. And then Sam Darnold, big props to you, dude, because you are taking your opportunity. You are taking the situation which you need to go out there and now put everything into practice and put the work in and do the reps, and you're doing it, man. Like, there's been some sloppy mistakes. We got that backward throw, weird kind of like botch thing, and then we got that 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 um shovel pass to Aaron Jones and didn't go right. But you know what? With that shovel pass, I'm not mad at that shovel pass because we have seen Patrick Mahomes in that exact same situation, a quick flip to someone, and it doesn't even go for a ton of yards. It might go for like a two or go right back to the freaking to the line of scrimmage, and the commentators go crazy. Oh my God! Did you see Patrick Mahomes? He's out there he's just the greatest. You know, Sam Darnold goes out there and it's like, oh my God, Sam Darnold, he's falling back down to Jets Darnold over here. It's going downhill. We're three picks are coming. Like, really? Your delusion and your bias doesn't register when you say like completely opposite things for the exact situation? Like, come on, like, get a clue. I'm excited to see what the national media is going to do or say this week. I know they're going to say that the Texans had a bad game, that they're going through a sophomore slump. They're going to go pick through the last two games and they're going to say, oh, look, the red flags were here. They struggled running or moving the ball against they're going to call them an elite defense. So how could they not struggle against Minnesota? And then they're going to go, look at all those penalties. U.S. Bank Stadium. It's just so hard to play at. We should have known better. That's the only reason they won, though. Wait till they play someone on the road. Wait till they play a good team on the road. Get out of here. It don't matter whether we're on, off, like at home, on the road. This this roster doesn't, they don't just disappear. Like, they're still as talented and as skillful, and they're still going to do the exact same thing at home versus on the road. You know what? They might have a little bit more jitters or maybe some nerves. Like we saw that in the first game against the Giants. There was that first opening drive. Sam in the offense had a little bit of, a little bit of nerves, but week one, he built up his nerves really quick. Week two, he he got his confidence so much faster. And this week, I don't even think that he started with like nerves at all. Sam came out there just confident. His confidence is so good, man. Like that shovel pass to have that confidence to just try to flip it to Aaron Jones. And the thing is that the ball hit Aaron Jones' like tips of the fingers. So anybody that knows like plays basketball and like as soon as the ball hits, it just bounced right off, right? So, and I'm glad that they were able to recover and all that fun stuff. But like, and then there was what was the other part? Oh, the drive in coming out of the half, growing pains there. He made some really nice throws, and unreal, man. Like he's just got, oh man, like he's so close to just hitting that zone and just like never looking back. And man, it sucks because I feel like we're gonna lose him. I'm so selfish. I really want Sam to be like our backup, and because I don't care who anybody says after this season. If JJ goes down in any game, if Sam Darnold has to come in and as the backup, I don't think anybody would be upset or have any freaking worries that we were going to win the game if it was a close game or something like that. So we're here. We made it. It's been such a good. Oh man, it's been such a long time coming. We finally have the roster, and yeah, I don't know what else there is to say, Barber, but we got this, man. And I honestly, I think 11 wins is not out of the realm of possibility. Um, I know we're gonna lose. We're probably gonna have some stumbles. We're gonna lose some games that people think we're supposed to win, and because that's just like growing pains. We're people are gonna get carried away as the season goes, because the hype and the bandwagon is going to get so big, especially after this win with a lot of our fans, and a lot of people will jump on. And then after we destroy the Packers next week, and then when we go into the bye undefeated, that's literally going to be the thing, right? So people are going to forget that we are still in a bridge year with a bridge quarterback really just overachieving. And the fact that this roster and everything that we've done is so good is the reason why we are overachieving. We are legit. We are the real deal. There is literally nobody on this planet that can tell me different. 12-5? Yeah, man. I think you had a little bit more optimism than I did preseason, but I am right there. I honestly think, depending on when that first loss comes, 13 wins, 14 wins might are seriously in the realm of possibilities. Like, I expect, what's our schedule like? I have a picture of the schedule somewhere here. Where's the schedule? There it is. So we got so we're 3-0. We got Green Bay next. That's going to be an easy win. These Jets, these Jets are not going to be able to handle what we got. Like, I know we're traveling. It's going to be an international game. Both teams are going to have a little bit of jet lag. I hope to God that KOC is smart enough to realize that we go into a bye week after that. So let's just go there a week early, get that jet lag, get that out of the way. That's an easy 5-0 start, because those Jets are extremely beatable right now. They are going through a lot of growing pains. My God, growing pains is literally the the thing of the season, because every team that everybody picked to be like front runner, like just the best of the best, are struggling. And they've put some bad games, they've had some bad losses, or they're just not living up to the hype. And the majority of it is growing pains. Like, the Jets from week 1 to week 2 and week 3 now, they've looked like they've slowly been working on those growing pains, and then just like that chemistry and everything going. Some of these other teams are doing good at it too. But that's the thing of the season. These guys are not going to be at the speed that we're at right now. We are literally banging on all cylinders, and we haven't hit our stride. By the time we hit that Jacksonville, Tennessee game, we are going to be humming. Like, it's going to be, oh my gosh. Detroit, I honestly, that's in at home. We're beating Indy. See, like, Indy, Jacksonville to me are like trap games, because those are teams that we should hands down destroy. Tennessee also maybe. But we have that kind of luck where we make mistakes against those teams in the past, but not so much in the KOC tenure though. So maybe it's a little unwarranted. But I still kind of have that feeling, because teams that are in this stage of like growing make mistakes. They throw games on accident. Like, Caleb Williams threw a freaking incredible pass or a Hail Mary or whatever, and just because of their luck, the ball ends up getting down at the 1 and doesn't even score. You know what I mean? Just like, things just don't go the right way sometimes. And I feel like Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Arizona, Seattle, these are all like trap games for us, where like we should honestly go in there and just destroy them like we did Houston. But we'll play them close. We'll beat by 3 points, and then people will be like, "Oh, are they really the real deal?" And you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, a win's a win as long as it's a W at the end. Don't matter if you blow them out or if you win by 3 or even 1. So I it's looking good, boys. It's looking good, and I think that kind of wraps it up. I think most of the stuff that I wrote, I didn't want to go into, like, I take a lot of notes during the game so I can go over that in my podcast. But tomorrow, I'll I'll definitely be going over all the stuff that I wrote down. A lot of good, a lot of bad. Well, not a lot of bad. What am I saying? I'm just so used to saying a lot of bad. No, a lot of good, a little bit of bad, some growing pains, a little bit of mistakes, but all in all, a solid, dominant win. I said we were going to have our best win of the season come this week with less mistakes, and those mistakes weren't going to cost us points. Ooh-wee. Like we say up here in Canada, holy Mackinaw. I don't know. I really don't know when our first loss is going to come. Barber, honestly, do you. If we just hit our. Like, if we thread the needle and everything goes right, we could be literally win every game up until Seattle and, like, literally sit our last two. Just rest for the last 2 games. I do not see a game out there that we are not capable of destroying. This defense is unreal. And wait, who's got a good defense out there or who's got a revolutionary offense? Detroit will play us hard, but I feel like we can squeak them out. We'll give them the last one. Yeah, honestly, I don't see it, man. I really don't see. Oh my gosh, like outside of those trap games, man. But there you have it. We made it through another week. Uh, it's an amazing time to be a Vikings. Less nail biters. No more Christian Ponder. No more dysfunction. No more sitting there watching the defense do everything to keep us in games while the offense struggles. Like, it's a great time to be a Vikings fan. So I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Barber, thank you so much for hanging out on my first live stream. You are